The leader of NASA has recently been vocal about some of the things that's happening in our sky. For the last few months, military officials have spoken about what they've been detecting, saying that more investigations are needed in order to come to a conclusive answer, but have revealed that many sightings have remained unsolved. NASA's current chief Bill Nelson did send out a message though, saying that he and NASA hope that these mysterious aircrafts don't belong to other countries. Bill Nelson said the following: "We hope it's not an adversary here on Earth that has that kind of technology." While talking about asteroids and what NASA will do if one is on a collision course with Earth, he openly talked about these mysterious aircrafts, continuing with the following: "Before we leave, I haven't talked to you about the search for extraterrestrial life. What do you think we're doing on Mars? We're looking for life. This is part of NASA's mission. That's what this telescope is going to be looking for. Are there other planets elsewhere that there is life? I know what you've seen is what those Navy pilots saw in 2004, and there's been some 300 sightings since then. I've talked to those pilots and they know that they saw something, and their radars locked onto it, and then all of a sudden it was here on the surface, and then it's there, and they don't know what it is, and we don't know what it is. We hope it's not an adversary here on Earth that has that kind of technology, but it's something else, and so this is a mission that we're constantly looking into. What or who is out there? Who are we? How did we get here? How did we become as we are? How did we develop? How did we civilize? And are those same conditions out there in a universe that has billions of other suns in billions of other galaxies? It's so large I can't conceive it." The interviewer pushed back and asked who he thought was behind them, and Bill Nelson said he doesn't know, saying the following: "I don't know the answer to that, but I do know this, that my personal opinion is that the universe is so big, and now there's even theories that there might be other universes, and so if that's the case, who am I to say that planet Earth is the only location of a life form that is civilized and organized like ours? Are there other planet Earths out there? I certainly think so, because the universe is so big." End quote. This is the closest that anyone within NASA has come to admitting that these crafts are genuine, and to Bill Nelson's credit, he's been open about this topic, with other military officials going on record and saying that they've also detected these crafts, and that they're working to try and find out what these things are. There's some who believe that they already have the answers, and that they're holding those answers close to their chest. But regardless, people have said that it's a move in the right direction, and that we need to start having an open discussion about these crafts. One user said the following: "To keep this secret locked up is to hold back mountains of evidence to not only the public, but also the scientific world. There's a whole subject that isn't being researched by scientists. We are missing out on a huge chunk of what's going on right now, because certain people are withholding this information." Italian officials have spoken out about this, and have said that we need to have an open discussion. The way these crafts propel themselves, the way they've been observed controlling the electromagnetic field, and how they're able to achieve the speeds they do is something that needs to be investigated. It's our scientists' job to investigate these things without being biased, and to bring them to light without fear of being ridiculed. We know these things are here. We know that they're much more advanced than our jets. So it's about time that we start being honest about what's going on." End quote. Bill Nelson continued with the following during the interview: "I've asked our science mission director to propose a series of scientific goals as we look for life outside this universe. First of all, we are looking for life right now. That's why we have a probe on Mars. It's a big rover. It's as big as a Range Rover. It's got an arm and it goes out and it drills holes and puts it into a titanium tube. And we're sending a mission there that's going to go there and pick up those tubes that's full of cores. It's obvious that there's a stream that came down there in the lake bed, and we're looking for signs of life there. we are looking for signs of life as we have these telescopes. The James Webb telescope that's going to be going up in December is going to be positioned 1 million miles away from Earth, and it's going to look away from the Sun, and it will pick a keyhole and it will look through it. It will look back into capturing light from 13.25 billion years ago. That's almost to the time 250 million years after the Big Bang, and we're going to see what we discover as it picks up another keyhole, and looks in there as it tries to see planets within our galaxy, but maybe other galaxies that have a sun, and suddenly there's a dark spot moving across the sun, which would indicate that there's a planet. Then we're going to try and get the chemical composition. So I think there's life out there, yes, but I cannot limit life to just this universe." End quote. Bill Nelson has said that NASA will continue to research these mysterious aircrafts, and that he's already set up meetings with military officials in order to put something into place, and that hopefully this will help them to come to a definitive answer for what these crafts are. As of right now, all we can do is wait to see what NASA and other military branches find. We all go about our daily lives, sometimes forgetting that we're on a tiny rock travelling 2.2 million kilometres, or 1.3 million miles per hour. It's an uncomfortable truth that we are vulnerable within the universe. It's a fact that asteroids approach the Earth every year. There's never a guarantee of total safety, and it's just a matter of sheer luck as to whether we are directly hit. If an object were 20 miles wide heading towards Earth, we'd have as little as 20 years warning. It's hoped that Earth's largest space agencies and scientists could combine forces to create missiles to destroy the asteroid before it reaches our atmosphere. However, the chances of this succeeding may be rather slim, and it would be years before we could tell whether or not this idea was successful. Therefore, it's likely that alternative survival strategies would be formulated in the event of missiles failing to intercept the asteroid. In fact, a recent study was conducted a few days ago on the 26th of April, revealing to NASA that even the most powerful missiles would not be able to stop a large-scale asteroid colliding with Earth. This simulation showed scientists that the asteroid would be hardly affected, and that 6 months is not enough time to prepare a spacecraft to take out the asteroid. The test was called the Space Mission Options for the Hypothetical Asteroid Impact Scenario, and Lindy Johnson, NASA's Planetary Defense Officer, said the following: "Each time we participate in an exercise of this nature, we learn more about who the key players are in a disaster event, and who needs to know what information. These exercises ultimately help the planetary defense community communicate with each other, and with our governments to ensure we are all coordinated, should a potential impact threat be identified in the future." End quote. Dr. Paul Chodas said the following: "Hypothetical asteroid impact exercises provide opportunities for us to think about how we would respond in the event that a sizable asteroid is found to have a significant chance of impacting our planet. Details of the scenario, such as the probability of the asteroid impact, where and when the impact might occur, are released to participants in a series of steps over the days of the conference to simulate how a real simulation might evolve." End quote. We have been hit by a number of asteroids in recent years. The evidence for this is ancient craters which can be found all over our planet. Even in recent times, asteroids have caused extensive damage to Earth. One example of this is an asteroid 66 feet wide that hit Russia back in 2013. Reports indicated that the blast damaged around 7,000 buildings and injured around 1,500 people within the surrounding area. 4 Vesta is one of the largest objects in the asteroid belt, and is often described as a protoplanet. The fact that 4 Vesta is almost spherical means it narrowly avoids classification as a dwarf planet. Named after the Roman goddess of the hearth and household, 4 Vesta is the second largest asteroid after the dwarf planet series. Wider than England, 4 Vesta is estimated to have a surface area that is around the same size as that of Pakistan. 4 Vesta is the brightest asteroid that can be seen from Earth, and it was discovered back in 1802 by Henrik Olbers. Sometimes 4 Vesta can even be seen by the naked eye. If 4 Vesta were to make contact with the Earth, it would cause devastation on an unthinkable scale. If the impact which led to the extinction of the dinosaurs is anything to go by, a direct hit from 4 Vesta would cause mass fires, debris and smoke which would likely block out the sun, lowering temperatures to a point that it would take out the majority of Earth's species. The impact would cause earthquakes and enormous tsunamis, followed by volcanic regions forming around the impact zone. The chaos would take years to settle, and widespread extinction of Earth species would be inevitable. The impact could easily destroy huge mountain ranges such as the Himalayas, let alone cities such as New York and London. 4 Vesta is truly massive, accounting for almost 9% of the total mass of all asteroids. It's 50 times wider than the asteroid which caused the dinosaurs to become extinct. Therefore, the destruction it would cause is truly outside our imagination. Even an asteroid as small as the size of a house, hurling towards Earth at 30,000 miles per hour would cause a massive amount of damage. Thankfully, scientists have calculated that a direct hit from 4 Vesta is extremely unlikely. Currently, 4 Vesta is orbiting the Sun at a distance of 170 million kilometers, or 105 million miles from Earth. Scientists announced that last year on the 16th of July 2020, it was visible in the sky. Astronomers said it appeared as a faint yellow dot. Fortunately, a collision with an asteroid large enough to cause significant damage to the Earth is unlikely. However, it's not merely the work of science fiction, as it's certainly not impossible. Large unknown asteroids could still be out there heading towards our planet. In his last book published in 2018, Stephen Hawking said that he believed an asteroid collision to be the biggest threat to the planet. Although NASA has done a great job at cataloguing countless asteroids, they've said that one recently slipped through. An asteroid by the name of 2019 OK made headlines around the world. This wasn't because of its size, but rather because of its sudden appearance. Our best scientists and researchers had no idea this object was flying past us until the last minute, at which point it would have been too late. This asteroid is estimated to be 57 to 130 meters in diameter, or 187 to 426 feet. It was the closest an asteroid had come to Earth in 2019. Shaquille O'Neal is best known for being a former American basketball player. However, a few days ago he shared an interesting video that got people talking. The video in question shows Shaq driving around at 3 AM, and in the background is what looks like a mysterious beam of light. He then uploaded the video to Instagram asking his followers what they thought it was. It then sparked various theories for what he had captured, ranging from UFOs to more mundane explanations like a light show. This person said the following: "I've seen similar looking beams out in the Nevada desert. I know some of these can be explained as things like hotel lines or natural phenomena, but this one is interesting. I'm not sure where this one was taken, but it could have been coming from a hotel. Regardless, it's still an interesting video." End quote. Another person said this: This is an interesting video. I have no idea what the mysterious beam of light is, but why is no one talking about the black objects moving in the background? There's so much going on in this video." End quote. However, others were certain that the video showed nothing odd. This person said the following: "The black thing you can see moving in the background is just a street lamp not lit up. There's also other light anomalies in the video that can likely be explained as lens flares. The beam of light is of interest, but there's likely an easy explanation for it." End quote. Interestingly, this isn't the first time that a strange beam of light has been photographed. Last year, various photographs started to make the rounds on social media, showing strange beams of light. Interestingly, these strange beams of light have been showing up in various places across the world, and this has caused several eyewitnesses to give their opinions on what the lights could be. One man said the following: "While on the way to work, I saw what appeared to be a giant beam of light open up in the sky. This light wasn't the same as the natural light piercing the clouds. It was massive and really bright. I got distracted while heading to work, which eventually caused me to be late, but I couldn't miss the opportunity to see this mysterious light. I have no idea what it is, and I could also see other drivers pointing it out as they was driving by. It was like something from a movie." End quote. Interestingly, this isn't the first time these strange beams of lights have been reported. Last year, residents in Rockwell, Texas reported giant booms and lights in the area. Those who witnessed the event said it illuminated the sky, and that it didn't just happen once. Skeptics suggested that what people were reporting was just the sun shining through the clouds, but residents countered this and said if this was the case, then the beam should have spread to the horizon, but in this case it didn't. It was very direct. Various photographs then started to reach social media, where thousands of people started to give their opinions on the mysterious lights. One resident said the following: "As I was driving, I noticed this distinct light coming from the sky. It caught my eye as it didn't look natural. I'd never seen anything like it before. I had my mum in the car and she was surprised as well. The beam of light was very distinct, and it didn't look like it was the sun coming through the clouds." End quote. Another witness said this: "The light certainly did look weird, but I think I've seen something similar. We call these God rays, but they do usually have more light rays than this. This one seemed to be one giant one." End quote. Scientists have come forward with a possible explanation. They've suggested it could be an anti-solar ray. These rays are parallel shafts of sunlight from holes in the clouds, and their apparently odd directions are a perspective effect. As of right now, more of these photos are being shared around, with some of the most recent ones coming from New York. Again, these lights are similar to the ones that's been reported, but are noted as being larger. Oddly enough, those who have looked into these reports have said they've even been seen close to the International Space Station, with one researcher saying they were watching the International Space Station live cameras when they saw a large red beam of light come from an object. When the image was shared, people couldn't agree on what had been captured, with some people saying it was likely a camera anomaly, while others went down the route of suggesting that it could have come from an unidentified flying object. UFO researchers pointed out that in the photograph you can even see a large circular object, and this appears above the beam of light, saying that the reason they suggest it's a UFO is because every other week strange objects can be seen close to the space station. As of right now, NASA and other space agencies have denied that UFOs have been seen close to the ISS, but amateur researchers who spend countless hours watching the live cams disagree. The search for life outside our planet continues. Scientists have said that microbial life could exist within our solar system, saying that microorganisms and extremophiles could exist out in the far reaches of space. One place that's of particular interest is that of Saturn's moon Enceladus. According to NASA's official website, Saturn has 82 moons, 53 moons are confirmed and named, and another 29 moons are awaiting confirmation of discovery and official naming. Not much was known about Enceladus until Voyager 1 did a flyby. After this, the Cassini spacecraft passed nearby and enabled us to study the almost all-ocean moon in much more detail. Enceladus may seem insignificant when compared to Saturn's larger moons, such as Titan. Enceladus, though, is fascinating and has been at the center of a number of theories. Almost completely covered in ice, Enceladus has an enormous ocean underneath that icy crust that is home to some of the most interesting recent scientific discoveries. In late 2019, a team of scientists announced they had found what's described as an organic molecule, thought to be essential for the development and presence of life. Head scientist Dr. Kawaja and his team were analysing data collected from the core of Enceladus. This was collected by the Cassini spacecraft when they found a tiny organic compound that they said would be found deep in the ocean. This compound is found in amino acids that are also found on Earth, and this indicated that this moon of Saturn could be a likely candidate for life. As mentioned, the majority of Enceladus is covered in ice, but has an ocean that lurks just beneath it, sharing certain similarities with Earth's poles. Enceladus's ice sheets release vapor and ice grains through any slight crack in the ice surface, and this is due to hydrothermal activity. The ice grains that are released have been key during this discovery, as that's where the molecule discovered was found. This molecule that's made up of nitrogen and oxygen, released through the cracks of Enceladus's surface, is also found on Earth in essentially the same way. Earth's hydrothermal activity causes vents to release similar molecules. Further exploration and research missions are currently in the works, in order to try and understand everything we can about this incredible moon. These research missions will hopefully uncover more about Enceladus, as we don't really know the extent of what other essential molecules and signs of life there could be. Scientists have suggested that within its dark oceans, eyeless creatures could exist, relying on senses other than their eyes to navigate. Scientists said that life needs energy, but said that Enceladus is an active moon, having all the right things for life to exist. NASA said the following on their website: "Since the ocean in Enceladus supplies the jets, and the jets produce Saturn's E-ring, to study material in the E-ring is to study Enceladus's oceans. The E-ring is mostly made of ice droplets, but among them are peculiar nanograins of silica, which can only be generated where liquid water and rock interact at temperatures over 200 degrees. This, among other evidence, points to hydrothermal vents deep beneath Enceladus's icy shell, not unlike the hydrothermal vents that dot Earth's ocean floor. With its global ocean, unique chemistry and internal heat, Enceladus has become a promising lead in our search for worlds where life could exist." End quote. Astrobiologist Dr. Kasherbaum said the following: "The pressure and temperature differences between the Enceladus ocean floor and the ice cap above must be tremendous. In a dark subterranean world, perhaps like the underground oceans of Enceladus, vision may be totally absent, and eyeless creatures could evolve a perfectly competent and rich communication using sound alone." End quote. Scientist Christine Ray said the following: "The detection of molecular hydrogen in the plume indicated there is free energy available in the ocean of Enceladus. We compare our free energy estimates to the ecosystems on Earth, and determine that overall our values for both aerobic and anaerobic metabolisms meet or exceed minimum requirements. These results indicate that oxygen production and oxidation chemistry could contribute to supporting possible life and a diverse microbial community on Enceladus." End quote. Scientists have said that Enceladus is the only confirmed current habitable environment beyond Earth, and hope that NASA and other space agencies will investigate this moon further. Technically though, we do have proof of life outside our planet, though this is because of humans. Back in 2019, an Israeli spacecraft tried to land on the lunar surface. However, the mission didn't go to plan, and the spacecraft ended up crash landing into the moon. This mission occurred on the 11th of April back in 2019, and now researchers are saying the lunar surface could be filled with tiny creatures. The original idea was to land a robotic lander that had tardigrades on it. Due to the unfortunate event though, it's not known if these small creatures survived, but scientists have said it's very likely due to how resilient they are. Scientists have called them extremophiles, due to them being able to survive in such harsh conditions, and one of the things that researchers are doing right now is studying these creatures to see if we can replicate what they do. If we were able to take some of the tardigrades' abilities and place them in a human, it would make us much more superior. At the moment, the human body is not great at handling harsh conditions. In fact, for humans to survive in an environment, everything has to be exactly right. It's been estimated that tardigrades have been around for over 500 million years, meaning they outlived the dinosaurs. Recently, scientists were taking samples from a subglacial lake in the Antarctic. After getting the samples tested, they made an unexpected discovery. The team had discovered tardigrades, with them saying they've never been found in this location, and it's still a mystery as to how they ended up there. Regardless, it shows us just how resilient these incredible creatures are.